Casted Crowns Inc. back once again for the parents out there who have sons. Now, if you have sons, you should be extra cautious because sons are, they're like number one on the list in this world, especially if you have a black or Hispanic son, Native American son. And when I say number one on the list, I'm saying number one targeted. There's 1,000,001 entities, people, who may be in opposition to your son. If your son may have a particular talent, if your son may display a particular skill set that may allow him to come into a certain financial field that others may not be, or if your son is just an outgoing person. If he's a very personable person and he's out on the scene and he's always in reach of other people, that puts him at risk to certain things, which is the reality of the matter. Everybody who means your son harm may not necessarily be aggressive, like a thief who wants to strong arm or rob your son because they're jealous of what it is that your son may have. Some people are going to be targeting your son, but they're going to use seductive tactics. This could be a woman who's got her eyes on your son to get whatever it is she can get out of him. She may look to take advantage of certain things that's going on at the times to try to exploit real victims and take advantage of those loopholes. And now one accusation and your son is finished, right? So if you actually have a son, you need to be advising your son on these pitfalls that's out there. Sure, your son can have an encounter with the police. Are you teaching your son or advising your son or educating your son on what are the legal parameters of which he needs to know how to navigate in such encounters? Or are you raising your son to be a coward? Are you raising your son to be afraid? Are you raising your son to volunteer his rights? Right? These are people who may be targeting your son. There may be a group of friends, supposedly, who you kind of picked up on a negative energy about these particular people. You have to pull your son to the side and let him know. Give him a bit of insight that he may not have because he may just be dealing with how the relationship between he and his friends are going. They may be involved in sports together. They may like the same hobbies or have the same interests. So he's not actually seeing that they're trying to set him up or line him up, right? Your son may be attractive to females, and these particular females may have their eyes on him and they're trying to set him up. Are you actually going to warn your son of those tactics that's going to be used by these negative people? Are you going to make your son fully aware that in today's society, it is culturally acceptable for a woman to put her hands on you? People will applaud that. Women go all throughout social media and they actually display violence towards their boyfriends, towards their husbands, and that's acceptable. Yet the very same society will turn around and want to prosecute a man for defending himself from that very same woman. This is the environment our sons are growing up in. And these sons are not the sons to fathers alone. These sons are the sons to mothers and fathers. So moms, you have to make your son fully aware of these tactics that some of these females are going to be using against your son. Just like you need to make him fully aware of some of these tactics that these other people's sons are going to be using. Far too often we hear parents say, especially fathers, when it pertains to daughters, if somebody has accused, whether it be your daughter or someone else, has accused a man, a boy, of harming or any form of act against your daughter, you will say, you have a daughter. So this is why it means something to you. And this is why when these type of stories happen to other people's daughters, or where they're accused to have happened to other people's daughters, it means something to you. But you never say that about your son. And then even if your daughter, if it was another woman, another girl, meaning someone else's daughter, who allegedly has harmed or brought any form of fear in your daughter's life, you don't have the same energy for that. you'll gladly accept that. You'll say nothing about it. You'll say and do absolutely nothing about it, like that's not your own daughter. So now you allow society to determine how you view your own household. And that is insane. Absolutely insane. Because you shouldn't want anybody to be victimized. Not your daughter, not your son, or not someone else's son or someone else's daughter. And if somebody is a wrongdoer against innocent people, you should want justice to be enacted upon them like it was anybody else. Point blank, period. So again, our sons and our daughters need to be fully aware of the harms, the perils, and the evils that is out here just waiting for them. And they need to be given skills. They need to be given advice and knowledge on how to navigate throughout the pitfalls of this world. Cast their crowns in.